I am starving. So I go, you know what's in the living room? The devil's food. Domino's pizza, baby.
Oh,
Oof.
oh.
Yep. Got Domino's pizza with
Love
no
it.
kids in the house.
Yo, it's like circa like fucking 2010. Like it was so good. It's so good. And it's like my guilty pleasure food. Like
I don't feel
Domino
guilty.
pizza.
I don't feel guilty, bro.
Yeah, we let go of guilt. We left guilt back in the pre-millennia.
Yeah, it's 2025.
I don't know her. Go
I
who?
don't know her.
I don't know her.
Guilt who?
So I was like, hearts.
We broke those cycles, Hansel.
Got to do is order New York style crust with barbecue sauce, cheese, and add the chicken on top.
Zing.
Once a month, I just like, you know
Who
what?
has an order?
I'm going to order Domino's.
You know what
Why?
it is?
We use that coupon, okay?
Hello. No, and then they do the things with the school, and they'd be like, "Hey, buy the Domino's little card, and you buy one get one for the next year." And it's like, hey, that's a steal, but also like I don't know if that's good for my health. But buy one get one for 12 months. Jesus Christ!
America.
I'm telling you, Hansel's heartburn makes more and more sense
Same
every
guy.
episode.
I'm telling you, I know this sounds bad, but like I swear that it's unrelated.
Oh God. Welcome back, everybody. It's your three favorite dads. I'm Carlos.
Philip.
And I'm Hansel.
And we're gonna roll with it. Man, it's been several weeks, folks. But we're coming on to the other side of it. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. We are so glad you're tuning in yet again. We appreciate y'all. Today, we're going to talk about tradition versus innovations. So, raising your kids your way. This was a big topic for Elle and I pre-parenthood, and how we wanted to ensure that, we kept the good of our upbringings and our traditions, but we wanted to rework a lot of it too. So we wanted to I wanted to open up the floor to you two today to kind of hear how y'all balance cultural and like family traditions, and like what new rituals you've created for your families, or like which ones are you hoping to create? Because I have a ton of those.
Lots to say on this topic.
Talk about it. I want to hear this.
Over to the gentleman from Miami.
And I want to start first, before we get to like our cultural traditions, before we get to the new traditions. I
feel like this is.
Listen, I am ready.
How is this going to go?
This is the passion right here. I want to talk about
this preamble is scary.
Let's talk about generic traditions first. And generic traditions, I define as like the Tooth Fairy, Santa, the Easter Bunny. So,
Can I talk about how I didn't even think about these?
Yeah, I forgot about them too. Actually, they're not as big a deal in this house, but
clearly.
Well, you know what it is, and I'll
take it away, Santa.
Right. Like, and I'll sum it up, and we'll get into it. But like, I think that my general position is, am I against it? Not necessarily. Did I grow up believing in them? No. But the point of friction, I think, has always been when to break that, the news of this is fiction versus reality, right? Like, at one point, do you lose the benefit of, creativity and imagination? And it's like, yo, did you just like push that tooth out because you wanted to get $5? So again, listen, inflation.
Going right now.
I had to negotiate down to 5. Maria wanted to hit him with a 20. I'm like, whoa.
Money back. You got money.
He has money.
I don't know who got that money, not me. I think we have an owl in the house, but so that's my feeling. Let me take a step back there and throw it back to you guys on that.
Look, so I'll be quick. Yeah, I'll be quick with this one. Like, we talked about Santa. So Christmas is my hands down favorite holiday. I love the holiday magic. I think it is the one point of, I guess, I even lost how I was going to say it. I think that the one agreement I can have about New York being a superior city is there is no place in the world like New York City during December. I just is
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
other than that, like everything else about the city, hit or miss. We can talk about it. I agree, disagree, whatever. That can't touch.
It's just straight up.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
I don't. I'm not. And I mean, maybe my siblings could check me. Maybe mom could check me. I don't know. I don't think I ever believed in Santa. I don't think it was a thing in our household really. Like we did put like there was no gifts out, and then the gifts would come out at midnight or whatever. But I'm pretty like I knew mom. I'm like, yo, single mom busting her ass. Like you knew who was getting the gifts in our household. And then Elle similarly, she shopped and wrapped all of the gifts for the household in her house. So like
But like,
so we're like, do we care? Is that like
yes.
a thing that we want? Hey, uh, I concede my time to the gentleman in San Francisco.
Let me tell you something right here, okay? There are 2 Christmas trees already up in this house. I believe I grew up with real trees. Yeah, there's one decorated like Halloween, Dia de los Muertos. We have a tree that we just keep in the front now. We change it for the seasons.
It's
But
evergreen.
M,
Oh, I mean, that's dope.
right? M has a tree in her room though. That's like Candyland theme. That's like her tree. We do both. So we're like, yeah, Santa might bring you one thing, but I also just don't feel comfortable you sitting on some overweight white guy's lap. Oh, we're not going to do that. He might bring you a gift, but most of those are coming from mommy and daddy and grandma, grandpa, peachy grandma, auntie, uncle, so on and so forth. And that has worked for us just because we're like, yeah, we work really hard to
Uh-huh.
give you, to conspicuously consume and pay for stuff that you don't, you really don't need because we can. Like,
Yeah.
let that credit go where it's supposed to be. So we are like very big on like, we're not going to promote it. We're also going to not promote it. But at the end of the day, we're going to tell you where it's really coming from. Like mommy and
Yeah.
dad bought this for you because we wanted you to have it. We want to gift you something special. And so far it's been good. It takes a lot of the I need, I want, or Santa's going to get this for me for the holiday. And it's more like our auntie and uncle coming out to celebrate with us,
What do
which,
they bring?
what do they bring? Or like just being around because I'm happy that the family component is becoming bigger and more important, I think, for her. Even at 3,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's
that's awesome.
equating that with the holiday as much as getting a present.
As it should be, because that's what I looked forward to. You know,
Mhm.
November, December, entering January, it was all about the gatherings and like seeing all the cousins together and hearing the music late into the night and falling asleep on the pile of coats. Like, that's what the holidays are about for me. But we landed on the same thing, Phil. We think that we'll probably do one gift from, I don't know if it's a fat old white man. I don't think that's going to fly. But,
But he's
Saint
rough.
Nick, maybe
Yeah.
Krampus. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but we we also, for just thinking about it, like that's kind of where we netted out. We were like, you know what? No, like you're gonna get things from your aunts, your uncles, your godparents, your
Yeah.
grandma and grandpa. Like, so we'll give that credit where it's due. But we were also very cognizant of like, is our kid gonna be the one to like ruin it for the little kids at like the playground and in
Oh, no,
school?
I kind of hope
but
Like,
mine does. She's got a little villain.
villain origin story. No, but what I say is with that combo approach, they still somewhat believe, although they're just not
mhm,
entirely dependent on it. And then
yeah,
I guess the question then becomes over time, and I guess in your scenario, it's less of an impactful, which is great, is once that magic starts to become less of a magic and more of like, how can I game the system, right? Or I don't
Hmm.
care if this because Santa's gonna do that, or or frankly, like, hey, you're getting old enough to reason. You don't want to be the only kid in school that's like, bro, you still believe, right? So it's like
Yeah.
figuring out, and I do personally believe in general at large, um, parents tend to, because they just want to hold on to their innocence a little longer, kind of like do kids a disservice to be like, hey, you're still, 9, 10 years old believing in the tooth fairy when we have to go and, potentially you're getting braces. It's like, bro, you're too old to be believing in the
You're
tooth fairy
getting
at this point. So
braces.
it's like my public service announcements to dads and parents alike who have younger kids who still maybe believe is, you know, double check, you may want to, whatever your timeline is, I would encourage you to reassess potentially and, move that up a little bit.
You're like, does your kid need deodorant?
I think from my perspective, Ansel, you touched on an interesting thing, the magic piece. Like, I think we will have done a good job if the magic component isn't the gifting. Because I think that, like, specifically with Christmas, to stay with that one, like, I don't think Santa is the magic piece of the holidays. Like, I think the magic of the holidays is the lights and the atmosphere and the music and just
That's like
the
the overall
environment.
jolliness of the holiday, right?
Yeah, like Phil will know about this. A big thing that we do in our household that we've done pre-parenthood is we're all about hot chocolate all of December.
Yes.
We go to Billy Sonoma and we get just the big tin of different flavors, and we have a ball with hot. We probably we there was one year that we overindulged and overdid it. So now we allow ourselves 2 cans for the holiday season, and
And
then we
that's it.
Right
pause.
now, loaded, ready for you guys. Just
God, get it.
Bro, I need, can I get in on this? Because I absolutely, hello, if there's anyone who loves hot chocolate, it's me, my guys.
I
So like,
literally,
can I get in on this is all I'm asking.
we got you. I
Hazel,
literally,
you've been on it. Like
yeah, you
Yeah, but like
know.
that
whatever these
that
sins are, clearly you
yes,
guys
you
been holding
are.
out.
Listen, listen. I feel like we're sports commentators now. Listen, run the tape. So you were introduced in our household to mochas.
Facts.
The chocolate that was used for your mocha is the hot chocolate we do for the holidays.
I concede.
From Billy Sonoma. So
From
much
Billy
so,
Sonoma.
I refer to it as Billy Sonoma now. And people are like, oh, that's so clever. I'm like, I know. But I stole it from Russo because we all, like every year, I would literally send this Joker pictures. We would go into a mall, buy a Billy. I was like, oh, it's time. New
We don't
flavor.
step foot into there
But
other
where
than
can I buy this?
Billy
Can we put a
Sonoma,
link in the
bro.
show notes? Because I need to, what I'm saying? We need to spread the love.
All right, we got
Billy
you.
Sonoma.
All
We
right. So
told you.
now that we got this from let's call it generic traditions, I want to know, what are some cultural traditions that you guys grew up with and still uphold,
You would
if
think I
any?
would have been prepared for this, right?
No, good. Are we nocheing the buena? Are we?
Well, so
Uh,
that's what I was gonna say. That's for me has been the thing. I know. Going back to Christmas. Listen, this is like a preview Christmas episode just because we love Christmas. But this is for, I'll drop a non-Christmas example. For Christmas, obviously, is the entire thing of we're staying up partying until midnight on Christmas Eve and opening presents that Christmas Eve. And for my family, which is, like 100 deep just from my mother's side, like we're all getting together at someone's house and people are literally lugging their Christmas
Sacks.
gifts
Yep.
to that person's house and we're distributing. And a tradition, and I don't even know how it became my thing, but like as long as I can remember, I'm the one that distributes the gifts. Like I get a hat, they give me a mic to the speaker, and
it's around your
they
birthday.
usually gather the small, younger kids to be my little helpers, and they're distributing. Okay, we have, a gift for Phil from, from Carlos, Henry Phil, and then you go Phil, and then you do the opening thing, and we start at midnight and then end up at 3 a.m. because we're going through everybody's gift and say thank you to your uncle, and like literally,
Say
and this
thank
that,
you.
and joking around, and literally becomes a whole production. So that's for sure something that we've kept. We don't do as much unless we have people coming over, mainly because we swap with the kids, one Christmas they're with us and one they're not. And also, being all the way in Miami, majority of the people being in New York, sometimes when it works out that either we travel up and they come down, it hits. But there's been years where we don't travel up and they don't come down. So we kind of, I do miss that a little bit. But um, I think that's one big one for me for the holidays for sure, for traditions, that has really kind of stuck, and that one that I enjoy a lot, to be honest.
Mine have changed with how our family has changed, i.e., loss of grandparents. So we used to do Christmas at my grandparents' house, my mom's side, and then we try to spend some time with my dad's family. I had a couple aunts and uncles who lived in like a town over, so we like you make your rounds. But at my maternal grandparents, like we're bringing in sacks. It's about 60, 70 people deep. This is the main event. But as they passed on, my aunt, my eldest aunt kind of took over and like held it down for as long as she could until, in your 70s and stuff. You're like, I'm tired. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to keep doing this. She used to do Thanksgiving. So that was like her holiday. She hosted it. Certain things happened there. All the cousins, all the extended family there for that. After having a child, this is the fun thing when you have siblings and they don't have kids, or you have like the first grandbaby, things shifted for us. So instead of people being like, "Oh, you want to come out to do X, Y, Z," it was like, "Hey, we got this nice house, we've got this extra room. Like, why don't you just come out here?" So that has been the shift for us. Has been, let's celebrate with her. Let's celebrate for M. Come to the house. We'll do everything here, and it's made it a little bit easier for us to travel because it still sucks to travel with a small kid.
Hmm.
And the expense is also different for three of us coming from California. It's actually a little bit cheaper to fly East Coast out here for the holidays than it is the other way around. And it's worked the last, I can't even say 3 years, because even before M was here, we were like, hey, let's do West Coast Christmas. Come on, come through. Check. Shoot, Russo, we did Thanksgiving together.
Yeah, we did.
And that's another big thing is like, I've gotten to the point where I'm open about, do we have to celebrate this holiday this way? Like, why am I holding on to this if that magic and that joy is not there in that capacity, or you have people that you don't want to see, you don't want to deal with? I'm an adult. Like, I can do something
I do what I want.
do what I want, do something that's different with people that I want to be with. And that's not a knock to my family. I'm just, you know, saying, we've been a lot more open in recent years. We're just like, let's do something, let's try it out. Doesn't
Yeah,
work.
I think that, yeah, basically, like for us, it doesn't even have to do with like parenthood or fatherhood. It was just being adults. We were like, let's re-examine these traditions and these things that you just do or that you always did. I was like, well, do we want to? Do we want to do something different? Like we're big on the November celebration is more about, gratitude and making whatever meal and dish we want. It doesn't have to be what we grew up thinking was necessary for the table. Um, Culturally, I think for me, one thing that was always a cool kind of celebration are the saint feast days. So we would always celebrate like Saint Michael. We would honor um, his day, which was September 29th. This year it happened to fall on a Monday, but we would celebrate it with you know follow drumming to honor him and give thanks for everything. And I just like I love those kinds of elements, and that's part of where like my spirituality comes from, and having that exposure, if you will. And I think that less date specific, but a lot of the other traditions or like even cultural traditions that I saw my mom do and partake in a lot that like I've continued on, and I would hope A continues is the like providing coffee for your ancestors. So if you make your greca in the morning, you have, you pour your cup and then you pour another cup that you either put on an altar or you put somewhere for somebody. You can light a candle or not. And like, that was something that was always interesting to me. I was like, wait, who's that for? And, learning or taking that moment to like sit with my mom and say, hey, this is for your uncle, or this is for somebody else that has passed, that just want to like give thanks for their presence and the whatever impact they had on my life. So like those little cultural traditions, I think are phenomenal and like fantastic to pass down. And then you have like, you know, fun, silly ones too, which um, for man, I'm blanking on the celebration, but Semana Santa, Dominicans are big on habichuela con dulce, which is
Mm,
translated oddly as sweet beans,
yep,
but it's a
delicious.
phenomenal, delicious,
Oh,
drink.
that Maria is not a fan, and, to this day, I'm like, I don't know, bro. I think you just haven't had the right
Listen,
cup, bro.
that sounds like a you problem. I think,
In all fairness, I
like, I'm
can't
not
make
even a sweets person, but it's it's amazing. Like
okay.
I remember the first time I was in DR for Semana Santa, and I always thought it was hyperboil.
Mhm.
Legit, every house we went, and we hit like 5 houses that day because it was a short trip. Everybody
Had it.
gave you a bowl of habichuela con dulce, and you could not deny,
Who's that?
"Oh, gracias,"
Yeah.
and you better enjoy your bowl like it was the first one of the day.
Low key,
See, yeah.
all Abishako Dutse needs is a modern rebranding. It's protein rich. You know what I'm saying?
Colonel.
Power food is a power dessert. You know what I'm saying? Like all I'm saying, CrossFitters, holla at your board. So what I was gonna mention real quick, guys, was Carlos. You mentioned food, and before I have some interesting new traditions actually that I want to share with you guys and get your reaction on. But I did want
Oh,
to ask
boy.
before I dove into that was, do you guys have any being the 2 foodies of the group, any food or dishes that are traditions either for time of year, event that you guys go to or either A, used to do, right? Like, reminds you of childhood or, kind of picked up from your parents or something that you guys started that is food related because asking for a friend just to see, what we're going to be cooking out here.
I feel like as a Caribbean, partial Caribbean, there's certain foods that just like appear, I think, from November to January, like all the food is the same. So like rice and
You eat the
peas,
same meat. Oh, the
it's the
same meal over
same
and over again.
meats. It's essentially the same thing over and over again. Actually, it really goes up until like, let's say like Easter. It's the
Yo,
Yeah.
same meal, but I'm like, dang, is there any food that we like?
So
I
one
know
thing that
with
I started doing, I'll go for it, Phil.
I was like, with jazz, I know we're like starting to make tamales for the holidays. Like
Mhm.
that's becoming a
well, that's
thing.
a labor
She
of
just
love.
bought a new pot. So we got one that's like big and one that's even bigger. But other than that, I feel like it
You got
is
big and even bigger.
Right,
even bigger.
exactly.
I, I don't, man, I don't know. I gotta call my mama. I have to see, like, is there
So
something specific?
Hansel, you should know this. You did a few celebratory meals with us in Florida. One thing that I do is I add a fish component to like
Yes.
that slate of holiday meals from the Caribbean because I was like, there's only so much pernil I could have. There's only so much turkey and pollo asado that I could have. So I typically would do like a baked or grilled salmon with a lemon, garlic, cilantro, lime
Mm.
sauce, and that was a game changer. My mom's dad, uh, I remember him telling me that the first time I made it for him, which I think it was like during one November holiday, he's like, "This is the best salmon I've ever had." I was just like, "Oh, I can hang up my chef's coat. I'm good. This is from a man that doesn't say anything, doesn't praise anything. I'll take it."
All right.
Um,
You guys can go
so
home
that
now.
was, yeah, basically like all done. I'm not gonna improve from here. Um, so that's a dish that I like added into the rotation just because I was like, I knew somebody was gonna take care of the pork, somebody was gonna take care of the bird. So I was like, all right, for those that want something different, here we go. Let's do that. Growing up, um, and I haven't done this in a really long time, but growing up, my mom would always make me arroz con fideo, which is
Oh,
just
yeah.
rice with fideo noodle,
Haven't had that in
as
ages.
as
Mm.
for my birthday. Like it was for some reason, I don't know if it was the seasoning or like what, but
Comfort.
growing up eating white rice or some kind of moro day in and day out, that just felt different, even though it was the same.
It's like, it's still just rice. You know what I mean?
Still just rice.
What I would say to that is, oh, go for it.
Oh,
No,
something
I'm just
You
clicked.
just
thinking
had a
like
breakthrough.
no, I'm thinking some of the preparation for the food is slightly different. So like the rice and peas is not just it wasn't just, the gondole that are using the pigeon pea, like
Mhm.
we're using there might be some fresh coconut, like there might be real coconut milk.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a little bit of extra
There was
love
something special added to
going
that time.
into it. Like it was the same one we had the Sunday before, and then we probably had another day before that. But I think the amount of love and care, once again, felt just a little bit
Mhm.
different.
That's
One
awesome.
thing one thing that I don't do. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. But my paternal grandmother used to always make tipile. And I grew up thinking this is a very Dominican thing, and this is a very like, oh yeah, this is what my family does. Come to find out, it's tabbouleh. It is tabbouleh that she was making me. So now, clearly, I was like, oh, this is amazing. But it's not Dominican. It is not special
Right.
to my family. Still delicious and still very much a highlight of like
But we're
comfort
going to
food.
call it a tradition.
Yep, we're
We're
gonna
just
call
going
it
to
a
own that real
tradition.
quick.
But is tabbouleh is it not big in DR though? Kipe, there's all sorts of
Well,
Bulgur
Keep it is
correct,
pastries
definitely
that are
big.
correct.
like
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
is,
yeah.
I could
but
go for
so
you're right.
that's the funny part that growing
Mm.
up, I'm thinking this is all Dominican,
Same. Even
and
for
then
keep it.
Is it? I
even
thought
yeah,
it was. Okay.
Oh, at least.
and I thought it was, and then as I grow older and I become interested in food and I'm diving into historical context of things, I'm like, oh, there was a huge influx of Mediterranean cultures back in the day. And like it actually can be traced back to one family, back to one restaurant in La Romana, which I'm blanking on the name right now, but they are the first, I think they were the first Lebanese family in DR, and they brought over all the bulgur wheat things. So like they brought over the kipes, they brought over tipile or
That's pretty
tabbouleh.
cool.
And like it somehow from that point on just like started spreading on the island. So much so that I thought it was ubiquitous. I thought it was the Dominican thing. Nope,
Car-
Mediterranean.
Carlos had a more enlightened discovery of basically saying, wait, you mean to tell me that cornflake doesn't mean cereal, it's just cornflake? It's basically a sophisticated version of that. But so, that's been my life as Dominican. You mean Vivaporu is Vicks VapoRub?
Viparu?
What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hear you.
Y
Um,
pariguayo.
He pariguayo.
Pariguayo? Party watcher. Oh my God. This is becoming a whole nother topic, but
So funny enough, so what I
love you,
wanted to
my
go,
Dominicans.
I wanted to go into new
New
into
tradition.
new traditions. I want to go into new traditions real quick. Before I go into new tradition, I made some notes because I feel like I was going to forget,
He's
and
going
these
to
are
the
and these
team.
are pretty interesting. So I wanted to just share some of them. Going to be from the benign to like potentially full blown other topics. But
Okay.
before I go into that, I did want to say there is a tradition that I stopped. And
Oh,
I don't know if I stopped it on purpose, but I don't know, it just didn't fit, I think, me, my family, parents, which was growing up Dominican and obviously in a lot of, Hispanic households, a sign of respect is saying "Siung mami, siung papi," like asking for a blessing. And while I still do it as a sign of respect, I don't necessarily, it's not a practice that I really do with the kids or impart in the kids. And I don't feel the need for it. Like, although, again, for my mom and my uncles and everything, is a sign of respect, seems a little antiquated to a degree. I think there's other ways of showing respect. But I just want to show that. I don't know if it's yeah, I guess technically tradition, right? It's not, a
it's
holiday
a
tradition. It's
cultural
just a
element. Yeah.
cultural element. Yeah. So I just want to kind of open that. I don't know if
Should I
any
should
comments.
I counter you on that, or
Hit
do
me,
we
yes.
do we
Yes.
let it lie? So
No, no, no.
it is a sign of respect, and that's kind of how you grew up. I also had a slightly different understanding or take on it. So
Mm.
back in the day, or like growing up, I understood it to be that I was asking for, um, my elder's blessing, whether I was coming or going. And it was a way and a form of respect, yes, but it was also a way of saying, hey, let me have your blessing as I go out into the streets. Or, hey, I'm coming from who knows where. Let me have your blessing and provide me that cover, that protection. Um, which neither here nor there. But to me, it was always like an exchange of energy almost to be like, hey, you know, hi, I'm here.
Like, it wasn't one-sided, it was a
It was
conversational.
a mutual
Yeah.
exchange of like, I say this to receive from you. So that's kind of how I saw it. Like, I do know that it, especially from our cultures, is big on respect. And there's a lot of people that look at it from that lens, but I never really did because I saw it more as if I'm leaving and going into these streets, can I
Right.
have your protection?
Right.
Because it's
Right.
important. And if I was coming home or if I was entering, like my grandparents' house who I hadn't seen in forever, it was just kind of a way to say, like
You're home,
envelope
you're staying.
me
Right, right.
in more than just the physical. But that's just I'll get
No,
off the
that's
podium.
that's dope, though. I can see that 100%.
Interesting. I think what they call us foundational Black Americans, I think we lost some of that. But
Mhm.
you sometimes I think get little pockets. Like I can remember my grandmother uh praying for me as I was getting ready to go out and like all the time. Anytime I got ready to leave the house, just say the some, 23rd Psalm and some other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
All right, grandma.
Less of the formality until, being in a Latino household and being like, okay, like I need to say this. Uh, I think for a lot of, I can't speak for a lot, but I know in my experience, Black American was more about just the greeting or I walk into a room, when I leave the room, I'm
It's the
greeting you and
acknowledgement.
yeah, that acknowledgement is sort of like, all right, I got my eye on you. You're looking at me. I acknowledge that you're here. That respect is given. I can go on about my day. But yeah, so you got rid of it? Just not doing
Yeah,
it
I mean, and
once.
it wasn't I don't think it was intentional.
That's why your kids don't be acknowledging nobody when they
They be
arrive.
like,
It's
"What?"
like, yo,
You know, people say no.
feral. They're
Yeah.
feral.
Yo, that's hilarious. All right, so new traditions. Let me hit you with a few that I got. So, one tradition that we started, and this is just specifically for me, is I absolutely love Home Alone.
Oh
So
yes,
what we
One
do
or
is
2.
putting up the Christmas
both.
tree, 1 and 2. You just can't. It's a two 1-2 combo.
Those are the
So when
only
we're
two that
putting up,
exist. Don't look at any other ones.
you know what I'm trying to say? Thank you. Cultural.
You're right. You're right.
Carlos culture, he understands. So when we're putting up the Christmas tree, that's the only time of the year that I play those movies as we put up the Christmas tree as a family and putting up the ornaments. And part of that is because I think it's a great movie, family friendly, it's hilarious. And I only do that once a year because I don't want to like just burn it out to the point where like I feel
Mhm.
like a year is enough to come back and you've seen it 1,000 times, but 12 months later you can still laugh at the jokes and enjoy it, with a good hearty like, crackle and put it up as you put in the Christmas trees and playing around. And it just kind of adds that kind of electric energy to the room while we're hanging stuff up and stockings and stuff like that. So that's
And it's
become,
brilliant too, because
yeah,
you don't like you can just have it on in the background. So you can
Right, and
do
going about
the
your business.
ornaments, you can do everything and still just like casually look. We borrowed that one from you, Hansel. We don't watch it doesn't have to be Home Alone,
yeah, yeah.
but when we're putting the tree up, that's the start of the like holiday movie season. So
Oh,
we'll
I love
put
that.
one that we've seen and ad nauseum essentially so that we can just have it in the
I love that. Perfect. I'm glad that it's growing because, like, I think I think it's cool, because especially nowadays with holidays starting quote unquote sooner and sooner, like especially these holiday movies. I guess it's better now because everything's on demand. But I remember like you'll start seeing some of these movies show up in you know TV and the broadcast channels, and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to see it yet. It's still October, right? Like, why are we seeing
Like, it's
Christmas
time.
movies? That's one. Another one that I think we're probably gonna go deeper in another episode later in the holiday is that I have the kids do full-blown presentations for their Christmas gifts. It's brilliant. They're gearing up because next weekend they're gonna be doing their presentations for Christmas early on. Yes,
Oh, it's
sir.
October.
Gaz has been talking about trying to institute that in our house, and I'm like, I don't want to do a presentation. I'm just gonna cheat. I'm a
Well,
chat
what's funny is
GPT.
now the kids are older and they're like before they'd be like, "Oh, I don't wanna do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it." And then, our youngest, she goes, "Hold up. We're doing this because you guys want to better understand what we want, and we have to choose based on priority and cost. And like, we don't want to put too many things because then that means the more things in the list, the less we get because you're not going to get everything.
Right.
So they kind of have to make that exercise of choosing, right? And part of that is being able to then share it with your grandparents and your uncles, and so that they know what to get you. And she goes, we never know what to get you guys, so you guys should do a list. So now this
Yep.
year they're making us do a list and a
Nice.
Tables have
presentation.
Turn well done.
touche.
Dude.
Oh, for all my Finnish out
Bra-
there, touche. That is an actual
Bravo.
touche moment right there.
So this year we will be doing one. And then lastly, and
Hilarious.
I'll kind of throw it back to you guys, is we've only done this once, but the intention is to continue to do this. And we kind of stumbled upon it was in 2019, before the whole pandemic and everything happened. We ended up taking the kids for New Year's, to London. And we spent New Year's in London, London Eye. We had great views. We had a great time in London. And I'm not gonna lie, Russo, London's Christmas, I wouldn't say surpasses New York, but definitely, as a pretty good vibe. And we
Such a
We
loved
were
it.
nice.
there. We
Yeah.
know.
Oh, you did it for Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know. That's awesome. So you already know the vibes. So we did that, and our takeaway was, man, what a great tradition would it be to just the beginning of each decade to just kick off at a different country, right? Like, even if it's, we may not be able to do that every year because of this, but like for a fact, we know that we can gather everyone together, especially as our family grows, as they become older and later on in life, that at the very minimum, when we bring in a new decade, let's bring a new decade in big at a different country, doing something. So like the next one is going to be 2029, and we're going to do that in London. And the idea is to get one of those hotels with the view of like the Sydney Opera House and see all the fireworks there. And like I tell everyone, is everyone's welcome, right? So if you guys want to kind of jump in, but the idea is let's get the family together and just do it big to kick off the next decade every time.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Okay.
Don't threaten me
You
with a good
know,
time.
I am building an ofrenda. I think
Brenda, yeah.
with all the loss that was sort of experienced, I'm a little bit nervous about building essentially an altar. Uh, I don't take things like that lightly. And I normally come to Russo like anytime I'm thinking about something spiritual, like, am I thinking about this in the right way? Um, so that is like one of the newer things that we're bringing to the house. It's interesting. My mother-in-law was a Buddhist for many, many, many years. So there's some practices and things we had to do when she passed, which I wasn't prepared for that I had to learn about. In this new piece, unrelated to Buddhism, but looking at, Dia de los Muertos, to celebrate this, do this. And so it's like, okay,
Yeah,
if we're going to
that's
do.
awesome.
Right. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that's a new one this year that we are, over several days sort of going through that practice and honoring. And so, yeah, I'm in the process right now of got some wood in the garage, doing a little work to make sure that we can properly um, welcome our loved ones and honor them in that capacity. So, yeah,
Damn, that's
That's
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you guys are
Yeah,
gonna start it, and I was like, "Ah, that's so good."
I- but like you said, it's heavy. And we
It
told
is.
people who are coming over to celebrate with us, like, if you want to participate, like, we're building a path. I've got the marigolds.
Get some
You're more than welcome
marigolds. Yep.
to
Yeah.
have them walk that path, but it's not Halloween for the kids. It's fine for them, but like if you are looking to have that connection with your loved ones on that plane, then let's do it. Let's be that conduit.
Yeah. I think that for us, speaking of Halloween, one tradition we want to do is just scary costumes. Like,
Oh,
go all out, no matter your
Yeah.
age, no matter what. Like, if we're gonna dress up, let's do it. Like, we got some
Commit. Let's commit.
killer clown outfits, birthday party, kid party. Don't matter. This is how we show up. Don't invite us. It's fine. We'll be okay. Um, exacto. Basically, at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, it's Halloween. Like, let's be spooky and all that fun stuff. Um, but I think it's just a moment to have fun and be lighthearted. And then the next day, you honor those. I think we have a lot of traditions and um, just more uh, cultural but spiritual traditions that we do. And like, like I said, we have the altars. We have, yes, multiple. We do, on Sundays, we'll take at least a very small moment. We try to like honor our ancestors, honor those that are, spiritual protectors, and like sit in front of a candle, light it, give thanks, try to take a moment of clarity, especially like in the super connected world. It's a great moment to just kind of sit, be zen, meditate almost. And I'm not, I don't do it from the prayer side as much as people will typically do those kinds of things, but I do look at it as a meditation, and I will come with questions and just thoughts and kind of see what arrives. So that's kind of the element that we do on that side. And then we just have fun ones. Like, we don't have nowhere near to Hansel's level of formality
Right.
when it comes to them.
Yeah.
We do, in an ideal world, we want to celebrate New Year's every other year somewhere else. It doesn't have to be somewhere new, but it is outside of our home country. So we've done that a few times. So 2023, we went to London, and we brought it in London, and it was awesome. And Hansel, that's why when you said it, I was like, yep, that was the first comment we had too. We're like, oh, London,
So
Yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christmas and holidays. We might be out here more often than not.
I agree.
But we do think and Hansel, we have celebrated the new year in another country together. And like that
Yeah.
first trip, yeah, that trip actually showed us the way. As ever since then, we're like, New Year's in another country is kind of dope.
Kind of popping.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
You might,
super privileged. I understand, but like,
Yes.
you might be
it
onto
isn't.
something because that's always my complaint about celebrating New Year's. I'm like, okay, it's another day. And I'm not excited
It is.
about it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. So for us, this leads to a yet another tradition for us. Our New Year's are our birthdays. So we look at, L is in February, and then my New Year starts April. Like, we look at that. We take the time that month to reflect, to think about what's coming, what do we want to do, and like do a self-assessment. Because January 1st, okay, cool. Everyone's going to the gym. Everyone's going to eat
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brouhaha. Like, just a date on a calendar. But we like to close out the year that we lived and then honor the fact that, okay, we're starting a new year. How do we do that? So like, that's a tradition that I think it's probably not unique to us, but we're intentional about it. Which is pretty cool. And I feel like there was another one and I'm blanking. I'm sure I'm gonna get called out when it's like, you didn't mention this or this.
Hence why I had to
Um,
start writing it down because it's like, yeah, a lot of these things too, it's so funny because they happen semi subconsciously because the point of them, usually these traditions, at
Mhm.
least the ones that
Mhm.
unless you're building them, right? And
Right.
you're obviously taking the conscious effort to do them. Once they become traditions, they happen subconsciously. So it's hard to remember. I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is a tradition because you're
I
just used
mean,
to doing it. You know what I mean?
yeah, Hansel, you didn't even mention wine night.
Oh, yes, that is so true. And we're on our 12th or 13th year, I think, this year.
Good
And
deal. Ooh,
it's kind of like a spin-off of, yeah, you're right, Rose. Instead of Friendsgiving, it's kind of almost like a holiday, friends holiday. I don't even know how to combine that, but it's like it's not necessarily tied to Thanksgiving. It's more like the holiday get together between friends and family, and we do a little wine competition and something that started as a way to just get together and like do something because hey, we should just hang out. All right, let's do this. Turned into literally have not missed a year for about
yeah,
12 years,
and it's dope.
which is awesome. So
Those are the best,
yeah.
to me, the best
I'm
types of
still
traditions
upset
that I know, right? That
that you haven't figured out the virtual component.
yeah, what's up with that?
Yo, was good.
Oh,
You know,
we should do it. We live episode.
Live
right. There you
episode.
go. I don't know how if I'll be able to survive that. I might get heartburn, like Hansel.
Listen, what we can do actually, we can do a mini live episode and just do, you know, my God, I hold that thought. We'll be
Pause.
back. We'll revisit this. More to come. More to come with a list of wines for our viewers afterwards. More to come.
Oh yeah,
Picks.
extend it to the audience. I love it. There's also Boot Fest. We didn't even talk about Boot Fest.
Yo, so man, you see what I'm saying? So this is actually something my brother started. So my brother started this. Both of my brothers started this because, basically they wanted to do a hangout with the cousins before Christmas because we always got together with the family and it was a family friendly affair Christmas Eve. So they're like, man, like why don't we just hang out just the cousins and go drinking like just us, our generation, and then Christmas is still for the family. So the 23rd and the 22nd. Yep.
Not messy. Not messy at all.
No.
Felipe, do not judge. It is
So
called
we're
Boot
like,
Fest because everyone partakes in one boot, which is a massive amount of beer anyway.
Das Boot. Yep.
Das
one
Boot.
regulation boot, and then
One
people get
regulation
carried
boot.
away. Some people get carried away because they,
Some people.
especially newcomers, I think, because they think they can
Not me.
manage.
No. But it's a safe space. You're with family.
Yes.
You feel
Yes.
me?
But what happened with that, by the way, was that it did turn. I think that this is a problem that could happen with traditions. Traditions work with a certain set of rules and actions that you do
Mhm.
for a specific reason, right? Whether it's building the Christmas tree and having the ambience, whether it's catching up, a reason to connect with friends through wine night. And I think Boot Fest was originally like, hey, like cousins and close friends, and friends are family, right? Like you guys, and not like extra acquaintances. Because what ended up happening was the friend of the friend of the friend was coming in, and now kind of the intimacy of the group started to like bifurcate.
Mm.
And then it became the original purpose of literally just interchanging and catching up and everyone having intimate connection, right? Because yes,
It goes out the window.
it goes out the window, right? Because the same way you guys know my family, whether I'm here or not, like I don't need to babysit you. And when all of a sudden it's like, hey, I brought my coworker from work, that person is not connecting with you guys the same way, and it just creates a separate, engagement. So it kind of died, and I was literally thinking about it this year. I'm like, man, we should bring that back to its original roots of let's all get together, have a beer.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Shut up.
down.
Just think.
Who do I need to call?
We come back out east.
Just saying.
I mean,
We're
you
trying.
should.
We're trying. We're
We
trying.
literally would
Another
go
live
to the
episode.
garden.
I know, right?
I mean, think about it. Another tradition, Freaky Fridays. All right, I'm gonna stop. That's my last one.
That's good. Right. And we already talked enough about that one, but that is definitely a
That
new
is-
age tradition that I absolutely love. So that's
Yeah,
a good
man.
that's a good way to bring it
Sure.
back, Rose.
Right? Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
way, man. And I'm really looking forward to the traditions that we can create and like make with our families together. I think that that's the piece that's somewhat missing, but like we've flirted with it a little bit. So like, we did November with Phil and the Coopers, and that was dope to kind of hang out. And remember the Casians
Yeah.
came out, and like that was just the whole thing, which was awesome. Hassel January. Is this going to be a tradition when we went
You know what I mean?
to the
Pen
pet
show.
show and like
No, baby.
had that experience? So like it's all these things where these moments at the end of the day, I think that, or at least from my perspective, like traditions are all about the energy, that connection, that moment of togetherness. So I feel like that's where I'm excited to see, cool, what can we do now? Once we get filled over here, we'll be able to kind of do a lot more, I think. But
We're working on it. Working on it.
No
I
pressure.
think, Rooster, you hit it. There's an ebb and flow. I think there's room for them to grow. There's room for you to outgrow them. And I think just keeping an open mind to like what makes us feel good, what brings us joy, what does those things is like, for me, at the heart of any tradition that I'm participating in or looking to build. So cheers,
100%.
both of you gentlemen, on, on all of us creating new. Where's my
Yeah, so
water?
literally I'm like, where's my German beer mug? You know
You ain't got no boot.
No boot.
To creating, new traditions and things that work for us.
Yes, sir.
100%. I appreciate that. let us know, what are some traditions and rituals that you all enjoy and that maybe we'll borrow. As you can see, I borrowed from both of these gentlemen.
And as you
And
can
I
see,
think
I love traditions apparently. So let me add a few more because, there's
and
365 days. So I got time to
you
spare.
are nothing if not a man of traditions, I think.
Yes. Call us. Wait.
Oh, Phil, stop.
Okay.
Jeez, here we go again. All right, everybody, tune in next week. You'll be hearing from us once again. Catch y'all later.
Later, guys.
Peace.